Dinosaurs roamed the Earth for over 165 million years, and during that time they dominated the planet. They were the predators and the prey, the large and the small. But then one day they all just sort of disappeared. That's right, the age of dinosaurs came to an end with the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event, better known as the KPG event, which scientists believe was triggered by the asteroid impact that led to the death of Tyrannosaurus rex triceratops and many others. It is safe to say that the end of the Cretaceous period was a sad time for our favorite extinct lizards. But what exactly happened to them? How did this asteroid send them all to the great dino graveyard in the sky? Well, join us today as we look at the science behind what killed the dinosaurs. The asteroid that ended up killing the dinosaurs is named Chicxulub. This rock from space slammed into Earth with an estimated force of 2 billion trillion joules, or about 300 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. It smashed into the Earth near the modern-day Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, and when it did, it left a crater nearly 180 kilometers wide and 30 kilometers deep. Today, this site is known as the Chicxulub crater, although it wasn't always so easy to spot. In fact, it wasn't until 1978 that the crater was actually identified. That's because over the millions of years since the impact, the Earth's crust had moved and shifted. Also, the area had been hit by other asteroids and rocks from space, which further damaged the site. It took scientists a long time to uncover the truth, but once they knew what they had found, they could start to understand what effect this massive asteroid had on the Earth and its inhabitants. It's believed that the asteroid was around 6 miles or 10 kilometers in diameter and made of rock and dust. And it was traveling at around 43,000 miles per hour or 70,000 kilometers per hour when it struck the planet. When the asteroid impacted the Earth, it would have felt like a magnitude 11 earthquake. At first, the asteroid's impact would have been felt thousands of kilometers away, and then tsunamis as tall as buildings would have crashed into every coastline on the planet. And when the water receded, there would have been wildfires as far as the eye could see. Basically, the asteroid's impact didn't just affect the area around where it landed, it affected the whole damn planet. But it gets worse. As the dust and debris from the impact rose into the atmosphere, it blocked out the sun, causing darkness to fall across the Earth. Plants would have struggled to survive without the sun's rays, which would have caused herbivores to starve. Carnivores would have starved too, and the entire food chain would have been disrupted. Scientists also believe that as the dust filled the atmosphere, it would have caused global temperatures to drop. In fact, some studies suggest that the average global temperature dropped by as much as 25 degrees Celsius or 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So not only did the asteroid block out the sun, but it also caused an ice age at the same time. Needless to say, these conditions would have been pretty hard for most species to survive in. But not only did the asteroid impact cause immediate destruction, it also set off a chain reaction of events that proved to be equally catastrophic. For example, after the asteroid impact, there would have been huge amounts of sulfur released into the atmosphere. This created a layer of sulfuric acid in the clouds, which fell to the Earth in the form of acid rain, which devastated both plants and animals. And as if all that wasn't bad enough, the asteroid impact also led to massive volcanic eruptions. These eruptions unleashed gases and ash into the atmosphere, further blocking the sun and making the Earth's surface even more inhospitable. So now that we know how the asteroid impacted the Earth, we can start to answer the question, what did it do to the dinosaurs? Well, according to scientists, the asteroid impact caused such drastic changes to the environment that it wiped out 75% of all species on the planet, including the dinosaurs. There are 3 main pieces of evidence that scientists use to support this claim. First, there's the KPG band. This is a thin layer of rock that can be found all over the world that contains high levels of the element iridium. This element is rare on Earth, but common in asteroids. Therefore, scientists believe that the KPG band was formed by material from the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. Second, there's the shocked quartz. Just like the KPG band, shocked quartz can also be found all over the world. What makes this type of quartz unique is that it has a specific type of damage to its structure that can only be caused by an intense impact event. Third, there's the fossils. Fossils provide perhaps the most compelling evidence that the asteroid impact killed the dinosaurs. For example, in the Hell Creek Formation in Montana, there's a layer of fossils from before the impact and then another layer from after. and there are no dinosaur fossils in between. Not only does this show that the dinosaurs went extinct, but it also shows that the event happened relatively quickly. In fact, some studies suggest that the mass extinction happened within the lifespan of just 2 or 3 generations. But not everyone agrees that the asteroid was solely responsible for the extinction of the dinosaurs. Some scientists argue that while the asteroid certainly played a role, it wasn't the sole cause. Instead, they point to the fact that the dinosaurs were already on the decline before the impact. According to these scientists, the dinosaurs were already struggling due to a number of factors, including climate change, volcanic activity, and disease. So when the asteroid finally hit, it was the final nail in the coffin. Others argue that the asteroid wasn't the sole cause, but instead was the trigger that set off a chain reaction of events that ultimately led to the end of the dinosaurs. For example, some scientists believe that the asteroid impact caused such drastic changes to the environment that it triggered a chain reaction of extinctions. That is, the asteroid impact didn't kill the dinosaurs directly, but instead it caused a collapse in the ecosystem that the dinosaurs were a part of. There are even others who believe that the asteroid impact didn't kill the dinosaurs, but instead only triggered a mass extinction event that also saw the end of the dinosaurs. This view is supported by the fact that not all species were wiped out by the asteroid impact. In fact, about 75% of all species survived. These survivors were mostly small animals that were able to live in dark, cold environments. For example, turtles, crocodiles, lizards, and snakes were all able to survive the asteroid impact. As you can see, there is still a lot of debate surrounding what killed the dinosaurs. While most scientists agree that the asteroid impact was a major factor, there is still a lot that we don't know. Maybe one day we will find new evidence that will help us to better understand what happened to our favorite prehistoric lizards. Until then, though, the asteroid impact remains the leading theory for what killed the dinosaurs. So there you have it, the science behind what killed the dinosaurs. It's a truly incredible story that has fascinated humans for centuries. While there is still a lot that we don't know, one thing is for sure, the asteroid impact was one of the most catastrophic events in the history of our planet. It's hard to imagine the devastation that it caused, but it's important to remember that it wasn't just a natural disaster. It was an event that changed the course of life on Earth forever. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other videos on the end of the dinosaurs. We've covered everything from the asteroid impact to the rise of mammals. You're sure to learn something new. Thanks for watching.